is 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to the gym. I have never been to a gym like that in my entire life. I didn't bring my camera in today because I just wanted to have the raw experience of it. But I mean, this gym is just ginormous. It's basically, imagine the size of a normal gym, maybe like a CrossFit gym, and then make 5 of those. There's 5 different rooms just full of equipment. Now, the one thing they didn't have is bands, which is weird because the last gym I went to and every gym I've been to before had bands, and they were a third, if not a fifth the size. I mean, the last gym I was at was literally just like a small garage. And even though this place has so much equipment, I mean, just equipment I'd literally never even seen before. And this is someone who loves to work out, and there's like all these different equipment. I'm like, I have no idea what this does or like how it works. And it's just so cool. But they don't have bands. Now, luckily I had bought bands, so I'll probably just bring them with me tomorrow. But what an experience that was. What's perhaps most mind-boggling, though, is despite the fact I got there at 4:15 in the morning, that's 4:15 a.m., something I'm very proud of. You know, I think I'm a morning person. I'm usually up and at it way before everyone else. Despite all that, the parking lot was packed, and I'm like, well, that's kind of weird for 4 o'clock in the morning. Maybe, you know, these are cars that are just left from the night before, or, you know, there's some sort of factory around here where people work a night shift. But then I walk in there, and this place is packed at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I've been to a lot of gyms at 4 o'clock in the morning, and they're always empty. Maybe there's 1 or 2 people there, but it's usually just me. And this place is packed. I mean, there's 50 plus people wide awake, bright-eyed, and bushy-tailed at 4:15 in the morning. It was a very strange and weird experience. Now, while I'm glad I had this strange and wonderful experience, and then I got to see the world from the eyes of people who are wide awake at 4 o'clock in the morning, which still baffles me, it just doesn't feel like the gym for me. It's just too, I don't want to say mainstream, because that's not really it. It's just all the gyms I've gone to are like small local businesses, and this, it isn't that. It feels like one of those big time gyms, and there's a lot of very strong people there, obviously doing some incredible things, but the literally one thing I wanted was bands they don't have. So, you know, I'll try it out for a month, see how I feel, but honestly, after this month, probably won't be the gym for me. I'm still very conflicted about the whole gym thing. I mean, I've been thinking about it literally since I got back from the gym a couple hours ago. And it's just, I don't like big gyms. I don't like being around a lot of people. The reason I go so early in the morning is so I don't have to be around a lot of people, and being around a lot of people, I don't want to do that. But on the other hand, I did pay $50 for the month. I mean, luckily I didn't pay for like a year membership or 6 months or 3 months. You can get it at any time. But I already paid for this month, so I should probably go at least this month. But on the other hand, I think, should I really go this month? Because the thing is yes, I did pay $50, which to me feels like a lot of money. But I mean, it's not tons of money. It's like one meal out with me, Emily and I. And it's 20 minutes to 30 minutes a day they have to take out just to drive there and back. And then also just prepping and moving around and stuff. It's a lot of wasted time. And probably 45 minutes at least wasted. And I know I shouldn't be so focused on every single minute just being perfect. And obviously, because I go to breakfast with Papa and these kind of things, it can't be perfect. But I don't know. I'll probably go to the gym tomorrow, but we'll see. I just dropped Emily off at work. I always feel weird about making a vlog when I'm around like Papa or Andrew or like family members. I don't feel weird doing it in public. I obviously don't feel weird with Emily or my friends, but with them I always feel awkward about it, which is part of the reason yesterday's vlog was so short and part of the reason why today's vlog is going to be so much longer. Not that I'm not going to see Papa today, but I feel so guilty about making a short vlog that I'm trying to make up for it today. I mean, I don't know if that's actually going to work or if that'll continue to be the case, but I'm trying. I am on my way to pick up Papa, and I admit that I have a little bit of anxiety, nerves, not about picking up Papa or going to breakfast, but on Mondays and Thursdays, I have meetings with one of my biggest clients, and it just happens to be like right around lunchtime, right around the time we get breakfast. Usually we're fine, we have plenty of time to, you know, get to a Starbucks or home or wherever, but it is just It's close enough that I don't love it. It's not my favorite thing in the world, and I wish I could change it, but I really can't, which is fine. It just makes for a lot of feels. Papa and I are back at my house after breakfast at Lily's, which is always quite good. I think I have this thing where I enjoy the idea of pancakes and French toast and like kind of sweet treats kind of thing. But whenever I eat them, I'm underwhelmed, to say the least. I don't eat them very often because I can't have anything that isn't gluten-free, so there's not a lot of options. But Lily's does have a place, and the French toast is good, but I just don't think I like it as much as I think I do. I think the idea is wonderful, but in actuality, I think I'd just rather have eggs. No, I think part of that is just a sort of guilt thing. I don't know, I have a weird relationship with food that probably isn't the healthiest when I eat things that aren't quote-unquote healthy, which doesn't mean anything really. I feel guilty about it. So when I eat French toast, there's a certain guilt that's associated with it, not in the same way when I eat eggs or spinach or whatever, even though it doesn't actually have anything to do with anything. The guilt makes it perhaps taste not as good, so perhaps that's why I'm not getting as much enjoyment as I think I will, because, you know, in theory, there's no guilt, but in actuality, there's all sorts of guilt. So maybe I'm just a incredibly guilty person. I mean, I don't actually do anything, but I just feel so much guilt all of the time. So when I left Indiana to move here to Reno, Emily made me sell my car, which, look, it's fine. I'm over it. It's whatever. I mean, it's a perfectly good car. It'll probably run for another 50 years. I don't think there's a reason to sell it, but I'm moving on. But there was a problem, or rather there is a problem that I didn't really think about. You see, what I didn't realize at the time was, although I could work from home and do work from home a lot, I spend all of my day with Papa, which means I need a way to get over there, which means I have to take Emily to and from work, which isn't that big of a deal. You know, I just take Emily to work, go home for a little bit, then go to Papa's, and we spend the day together, and then I go back. It's a lot of driving. And it's not so much that I mind the driving. I mean, the driving, it's fine. It's just getting into the car, sitting, I can listen to podcasts, audiobook, not that big of a deal. The problem is there's these gaps of hour, 2 hours, where I don't really know what to do. You see, after I drop Emily off in the morning, I have about between 2 to 3 hours before I go to Papa's. Now, it's 20 minutes drive home, 15 minutes drive to Papa's. So if I should go home or not, I usually go home because I figure, look, I got like another 2 hours and get some work done, take a shower, do that sort of thing. So that's fine. I mean, sometimes I think about it because you're wasting basically driving all the way home just to go back in the opposite direction because her work is on the way to Papa's. But the other thing, which is more complicated, is the afternoons. Because you see, in the afternoons, I have a much larger gap. When me and Papa finish doing our thing, it's typically 1, maybe 2, maybe 3-ish. And when Emily gets off work, you never know. And it's hard to justify going home when I might only be home for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And I have to drive all the way back to pick up Emily. And then, on a night like tonight, I'm also driving back to Papa's. So does it really make sense to go home? Probably not. But what do I do instead? So my solution, if you can even call it that, is to just sit outside of a Starbucks for a while and steal their Wi-Fi. I mean, I could go into the Starbucks, they have air conditioning and, you know, heat and that sort of thing, but they have to buy something, and that sounds like money I don't want to spend. So I'm just gonna sit outside of Starbucks until Emily says she needs to be picked up, which should be fun.